Performance Excellence Forum. I'm Eric Alden. I'm a board member for the Greater Rochester Quality Council and an affiliate of the Greater, an affiliate of the Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce. And before we begin, I'd like to announce that today's Performance Excellence Forum is being recorded, and the recording as well as the presenter decks will be posted to the GRQC website. Closed captioning is available for this program. To enable it on your device, click on the IC icon on your screen. Out of respect for other participants, we ask that everybody remain on mute unless you're speaking. So GRQC's mission is to stimulate and foster excellence in the products, services, and processes of all organizations and businesses in our community. And the council is made up of members who are dedicated to the collaboration and the demonstration of proven quality improvement methods. And so we have an exciting lineup of programs for 2024. Our next program in May will feature Jamie Leverett, the artistic director of the Draper Center, who will talk about the development of the professional dancer. And so in June, we have Dr. Joanne Sternke, which is a member of the Board of Examiners for the Baldrige National Quality Program and former member of the National Board for ASQ. So keep looking at our website at www.grq.org for more details about this and other programs. And so today I want to thank you for taking time out of your day and join us for this performance excellence entitled Gorbel Destuff-it Implementation Project. So our speaker today is Franklin Allen from Gorbel, and I want to encourage questions and plan to leave time at the end of this discussion. So please enter your questions into the chat, and we'll address them as we go on here. So welcome, Franklin. Franklin, I've known for many years. He's been in the quality role for over 20 years. He's worked at Kodak. He's worked at UR Medical Center. He's worked at Regional Health, and now is currently at Gorbel. So Franklin has his degree in organizational management from Roberts Wesleyan, and Franklin, thank you very much for speaking today. It's all you, man.
Thank you very much, Eric. I appreciate that. So as Eric has indicated, I'm here to talk about the Destuff-it implementation project. This was a project that we submitted for 2023's Performance Excellence, and it received the Platinum Award, which we were pleased to see and to get that award. So as Eric had indicated, my name is Franklin Allen. My role here at Gorbel is the Director of Quality and Continuous Improvement. I've been in quality, continuous improvement, and project management for 20 plus years. I'm a Lean Six Sigma Black Belt, and I've led dozens of lean and continuous improvement initiatives throughout healthcare, manufacturing, and government. So I'll quickly go through what our agenda is. We'll talk about Gorbel and who we are. We'll go through our strategy map. We'll talk about a significant date in history, which is March 11th, 2020. We'll talk about the Destuff-it implementation planning, the lean tools that we used, and we'll go through what we did in terms of celebration. So Gorbel was founded in 1977 by David Ray. David was a salesperson in the material handling industry and founded his own company in 1977, which is named Gorbel. An interesting fact there is that Gorbel is a hybrid of his parents' names, which is Gordon and Isabel. What we do here in our facilities are manufacture workstation cranes, ergonomic lift devices, fall protection, and warehouse solutions. So we've got a number of different products in which we build and send to our dealers. We have plants in New York, Alabama, Arizona, Canada, and Tianjin, China. And we have over 800 employees in all of those locations. Another interesting fact is that we have a jib crane that's on the Capitol. So there is an organization called Architect of Capitol that lifts those flags and retrieves those flags using our device and gives those to veterans and to military funerals, and we play a part in that. So that's something that we humbly enjoy to see. Now I'm going to go through our strategy map. Our elevator pitch for the strategy map is that we develop gravity-defying solutions that improve people's lives by delivering differentiated value, which is informed by superior customer intimacy. Our passionate, talented, and diverse team provides extraordinary customer experience, inside and out. To survive and thrive in a global market, we optimize our profitability so we can continually grow and invest in people, technology, and innovation to expand our portfolio of business lines. So that's what we do, and this strategy map depicts that. So at the top of the strategy map is our mission and our vision. The mission is we improve people's lives. We do that by providing products that help to lift and move hard and heavy devices. So that is the mission that we provide. Our vision is that we defy gravity, literally and in spirit. Our building our future, we have 3 different pillars that we look to, and those are growth. We want to make sure that we're a company that's always on the trajectory of growth. Profitability, as any organization would like to be profitable, that's one of our main tenets as well. And we want to pour that profitability into reinvestment for our organization. Our company has 2 different segments. One of them is the overhead solutions, and the other, which I'll be speaking about today, is the warehouse solutions. For the overhead solutions, customers choose us for our speed. We have a 5-day quick ship, which is unheard of in the industry. Our responsiveness, if you call us, we come with the answers and enable you to get more information on the products that we sell. And reliability is also part of that overhead solutions product offering. For warehouse solutions, in 2023, we adopted 3 areas in which we focus in on. And those are expertise. We are the experts in the market for these products. We have unique and timely solutions, and we'll talk more about that, and customer ROI. Those are 3 important areas that we have for warehouse solutions. We have a diverse business line portfolio. I won't list all of them out, but we started off with jib cranes, and we have all the way through cascading belt conveyors. We have a slot there for new solutions because we're always looking for the next new product that we put in the marketplace that will, again, improve people's lives. Excellence in execution is something that we strive for as well. We want to be on the cutting edge of technology. We want to make sure that our products are what the marketplace needs. Business development, we want to have a pipeline of products that we can give to the marketplace. And order fulfillment and support. Not only do we want to sell those products to the marketplace, we want to also support our customers in any capacity that we can. Growing and improving, we know that people and the culture are the bedrock for any organization. So we want to make sure that we provide all the incentives and inspiration and all the tools that our people need and create a culture that enables them to grow and to thrive. Also, we focus in on being a learning and continuous improvement organization. Learning by, again, being out there, getting information that's coming in, that's hot off the presses, and continually improving our processes and making sure that we're very competitive and we're what the customer wants and needs. And lastly, our foundational values. It's not least, but it's something that we all of our employees abide by, which are integrity, positive people in a positive and inclusive environment, extraordinary customer experience, and future-oriented. And that's who Gorbel is. That's our strategic map. As I indicated before, we have a site in Tianjin, China, and we've got a strategic map for them as well, which you can see on your screen. And the same philosophy and the same mission that we have here in the US and in all of our locations is what they have there as well. So March 11th, 2020, that was a pivotal day in history for the United States and Canada. That is when the World Health Organization called this threat that we were having a pandemic. And it changed everything. It changed the way we worked. It changed the way we played. It changed how we shopped. And it changed how we communicated. It was a monumental day in our recent history, and one that we will look at as the shift that occurred. So at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, businesses were being evaluated whether they would remain open or closed to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Businesses had the opportunity to apply for essential business status to remain open and operated. Gorbel did apply for that, and we were deemed an essential business because of our critical industries that we supported. All production employees remained on site, yet all support personnel were notified that they could work from home because of a local government decree. As we recognize the impact of COVID-19 on our business through reduced business and supply chain challenges, our executive leadership team believed that it was critical to search for and introduce a new work into our business to minimize the impact of revenue and employee staffing. Our CEO, Brian Ray, reached out to a long-standing dealer in Canada and asked if he needed any assistance in manufacturing a new product that they had developed and were experiencing high demand. Gorbel had the employees, we had the supply chain, we had the presence and an ardent team that could help to manufacture the product that we're talking about today, the Destuff-it and Restuff-it. We knew that they were experiencing high demand requests, and with a large international company that was challenging their manufacturing capabilities. So we wanted to work with them as a contract manufacturer. They knew that they didn't have the capacity and that we could pick up the additional volume. After some discussion, the Canadian business owners stated that they would be interested in selling the business to Gorbel, who we were not in the market to do that, but after looking at it, they had the same values and the same principles that we had, and it seemed to be a match for us. The opportunity to bring a new product into a new business segment for our business was exciting, and it could improve the vitality and show the importance during this COVID-19 period. The decision was made to acquire the business, and this would mean manufacturing the product that was not part of our initial core competency. And this would be a challenge to us. But the huge limitation that we had was that there was no international travel. So COVID shut down areas and did not allow us to get the knowledge that we needed to be the manufacturer of this product. As I stated, the government had put into place that an essential business could remain in function status. There were a number of organizations that had filed for it. We were able to attain that. And the executive order 202.6 was, if the government deemed that a business was essential, it may continue to operate while sheltering in place orders are active. So we filed for it, we received it, and we continue to operate. So this is the Destuff-it. It's a lifting device that allows for a 53-foot trailer that has merchandise and boxing and that are not boxed as well, in order to be maneuvered out of that with the advantages of it is that it reduces the labor hours that are needed to do the work. It increases the throughput, sometimes by 50%, and it reduces the ergonomic concerns that some organizations are suffering with lost time injuries and anything of that sort. What I want to do is show you a video of our Destuff-it to get you caught up on what we do.
Your distribution center is only as effective as your workers, and we all know that labor is a universal challenge these days. Gorbel's Destuff-it and Restuff-it machines may be the solution to the bottleneck dragging your efficiency down. Destuff-it helps your dock personnel handle a variety of product shapes and sizes while minimizing damage. It makes loading and unloading product faster, easier, and safer. From 3-pound boxes to 165-pound furniture cartons, Destuff-it helps alleviate worker fatigue and cuts down on injury claims, at the same time increasing productivity. All of this gives you the potential to lower demerge and storage charges and shunting in the yard. Reduce direct labor costs, increase the number of turns per door, and achieve greater throughput. See Destuff-it in action and discover the solution you've been looking for. Your distribution.
All right. So in this, we had to, from our leadership team, they wanted to institute manufacturing on our US soil within 6 months. And that was a lofty goal, but one that we had the challenge to do. We started the project on June 1st of 2020, and we assembled a team internally with a complement of folks that knew supply chain, knew manufacturing, did marketing, and a number of other areas. And we brought that team together to help lift this up from day one to month 6. As I indicated before, the borders were closed, which limited our chance to get the knowledge and the understanding of the product and how we're going to build it. One of the difficulties we had was with the border closing is that we could only communicate through Zoom and through those means in order to get that product knowledge. We did put in place a number of different devices that enabled us to get our team understanding of the product, and I will get into that a little bit later. This is a snapshot of the project plan that we used in order to lift up and stand up this product in the US. So as I mentioned again, we had a number of different key individuals on our team that was able to carry these critical issues and make sure that we could bring those to the finish line. Some of the critical factors that we had was that we had to find a manufacturing site. So the plant manager and the owner of finding the site was Paul Labella, who currently is the VP of operations. And he looked at, with a team, at least 6 sites within Monroe County, trying to find the right space, the right setup that allowed us to have the manufacturing in a lean environment so that we could get this job done efficiently and effectively. We also had to find people. So we have normal channels by which we attain people and staff in order to fill our vacancies, but we took a different spin this time. We reached out to a couple of organizations that we hadn't used before, and a few of those are the Young Adult Manufacturing Training Employment Program, the Rochester Refugee Resettlement Services, Rochester Rehabilitation, and we even went to Northeast High School, where we tried to tap areas where we normally didn't go to get our workforce from, just so that we knew we had an opportunity to do that. And being diverse in our thinking, we wanted to do that as an outreach. Next, we had to get suppliers for all of the 1,500 parts that we were going to need in our manufacturing. So we looked at some of our current suppliers and some others that the Canadian company Engineering Lifting Systems utilized, and we brought them into the fold. And we were very focused on getting a product that our customers would like. And all of this was done with high quality in mind. We wanted to make sure that any of the finished product that we put outside of the door was of high quality and something that the customer was willing to pay for. For production, as I indicated before, we started the program in June 1st in 2020, and we were looking to close it out by the end of the year and December 31st of that same year. In that, we had to put a plan together to look at our production rates. So we knew that there were going to be some growing pains and some things that we did not put in our plan, but we had an aggressive plan where we would get to 10 units per week in our Henrietta site. Our Center of Excellence, which is Elmira, Ontario, Canada, they were still going to produce the product as well, but they were going to produce only 5 per week. And they had to have a plan as well to increase capacity and get to their threshold of 5 per week. So it was a lofty goal, starting off from 0 all the way up to 10. This here is one of the tools that we utilized in order to, once we stood up the manufacturing, these were the tools that we utilized to get us to a better and a continuous improvement state. So this is an A3, which is a problem-solving tool. It's broken into different areas, and this one is an example of what we used. So at first, you start off with the problem. What is the problem that you're trying to solve, and what solution are you trying to get to? You also have to list out what is your current state? Where are you today? And then the next phase of it is, where do you want to be in terms of an ideal state? So you fill those out for the A3. You put together an action plan, and in that action plan, you would list out who the owners of that action plan is and what timeline they have in order to get those things done. You can also, as we did, put some images into that A3 to make it more reachable for the team. And lastly, you put out the results once you've completed all the work. In this instance, we had reduced our assembly time in this step by 50%, and our first-time quality improved from 75% to 100%. So there was some success with this one, and we had dozens of A3s that we put into effect once production started in order to attain our 10 machines per week.
Hey, Franklin, what's a poker yoke gauge?
A poker yoke is a gauge that allows you to do it right the first time. So there may be different ways in which you can do a step, but a poker yoke would make it so that you can only do it one way and that you won't have a variety of ways in which you can make it wrong. So the poker yoke is a step to make sure that it's done correctly the first time and that there's error proofing within the process.
All right, cool.
Thank you. We also put into place visual management. As an organization, we make sure that we're looking at safety, quality, delivery, inventory, and production. So we put together a visual management board where we have our morning huddles and where all of the data for that day is populated. And we review that with our teams and draw out of them, as well as our leadership, what it is that we can do to improve the performance that we had the prior day. So if you see a red measure, we would hone in on those and see where we can shift that to green. But those are the priorities of our organization: safety, quality, delivery, inventory, and production. Also, we touched upon our manufacturing layout. We wanted to make sure that the layout that we put into place is that one that would, it would not have any bottlenecks, and that it was a one-piece flow. This, what we have here is that each one of these assembly stations gets their work done, make sure that there's quality at the source, passes that off to the next location. So we had it streamlined so that our takt time was I'm sorry, the timing escapes me at this moment, but we had a takt time where we had a finished product at the end of the work cell. Here are some of the images of our team where we gathered together to do Kaizens and to look at some process constraints and making sure that we can understand them, put some root cause analysis or 5 whys into play so that we can mitigate those issues and make sure that we can have a streamlined process. It's part of our culture to make sure that we are reviewing issues and making sure that we're putting enough effort with everybody's eyes and ears involved to make sure that we can get to a point where we're streamlined and reducing defects and increasing efficiency in the steps that we're doing. So this is one of the cultural aspects that we've got here at Gorbel. We also looked at waste reduction as a part of our lean journey. So you all may have heard of Timwood. We did look at removing some of the waste in each of these areas. So T is transportation. And we have a limited movement of people by creating work centers that maintain all the necessary tools within the work area to conduct the work. So we wanted to make sure that we limited the amount of transportation needed for moving parts from one location to the other. I is inventory. And what we did was that we had each work center had a Kanban of parts necessary to build their parts for the Destuff-it machine in that assembly area, making sure that you've got the inventory readily available to do the work and making sure that it was within reach of the operator. Next is the M, which is motion. We wanted to make sure that with the required parts to build a subassembly of the machine, we had limited motion that was required by the team member. When we look at walking, what we did is that have limited walking by having all the necessary components in that work center. Overproduction, we make sure that work is triggered for each work center only by the prior work center and having a one-piece flow process. So we didn't want to aggregate 6 items when we're working on one. So we just made sure that one passed through the process, and once one was moved, the next one was received, making it a one-piece flow process. We had overproduction, and that one was within the 50-minute per work center takt time. It allows us to limit the bottlenecking from occurring. So similar to that of overproduction, we didn't want to make sure that we had a bottleneck and that the takt time, which is 50 minutes per work center, was being abided by. And lastly, defects. We put in those hard gauges or poke-yoke to have been built to reduce the time needed for each team member differences and measurement errors. This was key in order to make sure that the process was streamlined and that it was predictable and we would have the outcome that we expected. Lastly, success. So we completed our first DT in October 27th of 2020. So we were on plan to get that done well within our 6-month window. We completed the project on December 31st of 2020. All of the product that we produced, we sent up to Elmira for them to inspect. The first few products that they received, they did find minimal errors, but after I think it was the 5th or 6th product that they received, they said, you don't need to send them up here any longer. We're very confident in what you've been building, and we want to make sure that our customers get 100% product.
Wow.
So that's our
Franklin,
story.
that's quite a story. Hey, can you flip back to the page where you actually show the machine? Keep going way back to where yeah, keep going back, right where one more, right there, and one more. Yeah, right there. All right. So I don't know whether people appreciate what you guys accomplished, but this is incredible. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here. And also, you know, if I don't know whether you can zoom into the actual device that's driving it. You have conveyor belts, you have motors, you've got all kinds of things. And you've got a situation here where suddenly you've got this COVID where you can't even get across the border, and your company decided to remove this manufacturing to the United States and do this within a 6-month time frame. And so, I mean, the obstacles that you had to get across, you had to deal with the design of the whole feature, getting all your supplies, you know, where everyone had trouble with getting your supplies in. And then you had to get the labor and design it. I don't know what the rest of you feel like, but this is a monumental accomplishment that you did. And what I find really exciting too, Franklin, is you're using all the lean tools. I mean, so you've got you're walking your talk, which I think is something that, you know, the audience here can really appreciate. You know, here's an example where you're using your lean, you're using your tack time. And if you look at the pictures of your floor, you could eat off that floor, right? So there isn't any heaps of junk there. It's a clean environment. It's a really great example of using lean tools to a very successful result there. So I'll open the floor up to questions. Anybody else has any comments to make? But nice job, Franklin. Really nice
I
job.
appreciate that, Eric. Thank you.
Hi, this is Mark. I've got a question. So, Franklin, first, thanks for a great presentation.
Thank you, Mark.
I appreciate you adding the U into Gauge with me being English and spelling correct. So that you get a plus for that one. I have to say, this wasn't what I expected. When I saw Destuff, I thought you were going to talk about 5S, to be perfectly honest. So this was completely different and really, really impressive to see. A couple of things, just a couple of questions. I mean, it's an incredible success to get this done in a short space of time. So what would be the couple of key things that you would say were the secret sauce to enable you to achieve this within such a short period of time?
I think the secret sauce was communication. We have a number of different venues. We've got News on the Run, which is an internal mechanism where we communicate to teams. We are a culture that loves huddles. We want to make sure that every shift gets what the prior shift did and what they're about to do. So huddles were another thing. We also have where we have an all-in. So our executive leadership team comes to each of the sites and lets the team know what's going on in the business. So communication, I've always heard that it's 70% of what drives failure. So what we wanted to do proactively is to communicate. And in that, we made sure everybody was singing from the same sheet music and that they were on board and we were marching in one direction. Thank you for the question, Mark.
All right, Terry, you had your hand up?
Yes, Eric, thank you. Hey, Franklin, good afternoon.
Hello, Terry.
Yeah, great story, very impressive.
Thank you.
My question is relative to the snapshots you showed of the project plan. Could you speak a little bit about the project management approach that you use? Was there a single project leader, for example, and one integrated project plan, or were there individual project plans by departments, such as quality and continuous improvement had their plan, HR had their hiring and recruiting plan, engineering
Yes.
had their plan. Could you just speak to how it all came together from a project management perspective?
Absolutely, Terry. Thank you for the question. We did have one master plan that we had all of those areas, whether it's HR, quality, manufacturing, all rolled up to. We did have a number of sub-teams and that were focusing on a number of different tasks that they had to complete. But we had one project manager that attended all of the sub-teams meetings, which rolled up into the larger. It was a Herculean effort to do so, but the team was able to make sure they communicated and get all of the information gathered into one document that spoke to the efforts that we needed to get to this position that we wanted to.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Terry.
All right, Brendan, you have a question?
Yeah. How you doing, Franklin? I don't know if you recognize my name or my face.
I do, Brendan. How are you?
Met you back in December when I came up for a factory tour. For the rest of the audience, I'm the program manager at Amazon for the Destuff-it machine. I'm not a plant. I just happened to stumble across the fact that this meeting was happening last night on LinkedIn, and I thought, hey, I'm going to join that. You know, I was the direct beneficiary of everything Franklin just talked about. And I can't say enough about this team. The speed, the reliability, top notch. This is the best vendor, manufacturer, third-party partner I have ever worked with in my entire career. And I've been around the block. And let me tell you, Amazon is not an easy customer. I don't know if anybody else on this call works with Amazon. We're tough, very tough. Our standards are very high. Our expectations are very high. We don't play. And so if you're not up to the bar, we will find something else. And, you know, the end result of everything Franklin and the Gorbel team has done here is that orders have just exploded over the last couple of months, and the program has exploded. I think annual manufacturing capacity of Gorbel was about 400 units, or that's what our demand was anyway, in years leading up to this. And currently we have, you know, pushing 2,000 orders for about 2,000 Destuff-it CBCs. And that's a testament to everything that this team has done. I was curious, you know, when I was up there visiting Henrietta, Paul Labella was talking about how the various workstations were actually on wheels initially.
Yes.
And I was curious if maybe you could talk about that for the group, and maybe how many times you had to shift things around. But you talked about the one-piece flow, you talked about the sub-assemblies. I got a chance to see it firsthand, and I was blown away. You know, the cleanliness of the facilities was mentioned earlier by Eric. It was the same when I was there in person. I couldn't believe it. When I saw what I saw, I knew why we got such a quality product and where the speed and reliability was coming from. I got to see that firsthand. So I'm curious, you know, how much did you guys have to shift things around before you bolted them down? Or are they even bolted down? I'm not even sure.
Yeah. Well, first off, I want to humbly thank you, Brendan, for attending and just for speaking your piece here. It speaks volumes. So thank you very much for that.
You guys earned it. I mean, seriously, I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that. I haven't said that about anybody else. So just know that.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, we made sure that we had an agile work center to say, it might be on Monday that we have it configured in such a way that our current thinking was that it should be set here. In having the work centers on wheels allowed us to say, hey, yesterday we did it this way. Tomorrow, why don't we try it this other way? And we could just, instead of having to put a work order in and wait for response of 2 to 3 days, we could just actually roll that area and trial out that new manufacturing layout that we wanted to. So we've probably had half a dozen different changes in a modular format, in a format. So we've had different formats, and I think we hit a sweet spot where we are today. If another invention comes up where we think something else should be changed, it's not buckled down, so we can do the modification again. But being agile and nimble and allowing us to shift when needed is something that we strive to do.
So Franklin,
Yeah.
what along those terms there, how is the feedback from the actual employees working through there? Is there a process where if one of the workers there says, "Hey, I have an idea to try," is there a process where you really encourage and embrace those ideas and implement them to try? I mean, it seems like just like we were talking about, this system could be modularly moved around very quickly. How is the relationship with the actual workers and their inputs encouraged?
Yeah, during those huddles that we have every morning, we solicit from our workforce, our team members, what is it that we could do differently that we hadn't done yesterday? So we can tease out of them, I was just thinking, and to frame it up, you want to say that no idea is a dumb idea. So we try to tease from out of them, I was thinking that we could do X, Y, Z. Well, let's give it a try. If we're under the gun for production, it may be when we have a lull, but we do chronicle those things. And when we have the opportunity to put it into play, we do that. But we do not want to have a voice put something out into the atmosphere and us not take action on it. So we really want to make sure that their voices are heard and we act upon those, whether it's a small change or if it's turning the plant upside down.
Well, I have one more question for you, Franklin.
Yes, Eric.
In every success story here, there must have been some dark days in between, so from the time that you said on June, we're going to do this in 6 months, somewhere in between there must have been some real obstacles that it's like, how the heck are we actually going to do this? And you actually overcame those obstacles to achieve it. Can you comment on any of that?
I think I was not there at that time, but what I get from folks is that securing the amount of staff that we needed was a challenge. We reached out to a number of our stalwart entities to try to get candidates through our doors, and we were not able to. So we developed a network with other organizations that we had not tapped in the past and brought folks in from there. And that seemed to be a solution for us. But also working with suppliers, some suppliers heard of the volume that would be coming their way and couldn't commit to it. So you're going to supplier after supplier after supplier to meet your specific specifications and also meeting the quantity that we were looking for. So those were some of the dark days, getting staffing and getting the suppliers and parts from those suppliers in order to start production.
Yeah, I can't imagine, just with all your suppliers, being contained by COVID, workers aren't showing up, you can't get your supplies from overseas, I mean, it's unbelievable how you pulled that off there.
Yeah.
So we probably have a time for one or two more questions. I don't see anybody's hands up, and I don't know if you have your hand up, and I don't see it because I can't see all the people here. Hopefully, if your hand is up, we go up to the top of the screen and I can see it. The other comment that I'll make, oh, wait a minute, Terry, go ahead.
Yeah, Franklin, just a quick question. Where did the name Destuff-it come from? Like, did you have an employee contest and that was the winner, or what was its origin?
I do not know that story. I know that it was generated at the Elmira, Ontario, Canada site. I am not too sure of its origins, but I will find that out and I'll make sure that I let this team know what that is.
Don't, it's not important. Well, it's interesting, but don't spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
So
Hey,
Frank,
Franklin, it's Kristen DeBrancy.
It's good.
This was great. I really appreciate this too. And I'll just make a comment. And I had the special honor of, along with another person, being the GRQC reviewer for this great work. And just another comment that I'll make, and this is really related to the principles of lean. Is, one of the principles that I think is often overlooked or not talked about is the respect for people aspect. And I think that I would just comment that is what I observed at Gorbel, and I think is a huge testament to why Gorbel was also able to so quickly pivot and make this happen, is because the culture and the processes, and just the question, even Eric, you asked about employee feedback, and the mechanisms in place to ensure that every employee feels valued and is heard, really, really was a huge impact of this, and it's impressive. I just wanted to make that comment.
Thank
So
you, Kristen.
congratulations, and thank you for sharing all this.
Appreciate it.
very good. I saw a quick flash from Anna suggesting that, everyone go to the GRQC website, and take a look at the presentations that are out there for other examples of this kind of work. And I just wanted to make a quick comment on that. I've had the privilege to host a number of these podcasts, and the theme that runs through everyone that's common is that it's really driven by a leader that has that passion in them. So it all goes to, you can tell that the owner of Gorbel walks his talk. And he just absolutely believes in the process, and you can see it through there. We saw that through ESL. We saw that through so many of the other presentations that from the companies that have won these awards. And it's just refreshing to see that, because it's not common in all companies. It's a special thing that makes Gorbel unique. And it's too bad that it's unique. You would hope that you'd see a lot more of that common, but it's something that I talk a lot of times in keeping my mojo going, and participating in these kind of talks and events, and seeing this kind of work here really helps keep my work going on there too. All right, and any other questions? We're we have a few minutes left for a few questions there. Anything from the audience? Anything else?
Hi, it's Anne. I just want to encourage anyone who felt that this was really interesting, and maybe you'd like to submit one of your projects for this type of review and recognition, to look at the link that I put into the chat. We are accepting applications for 2024. You can look back at previous year's winners, as Eric mentioned. So please consider applying for this year's awards. And since Kristen brought it up, if you're interested in being a reviewer for the applications that are submitted, you can also just send an email to awards@grqc.org, and we'll get you the information you need to be able to sign up for that. It's a really interesting and great opportunity to learn about what others are doing in the continuous improvement space.
All right. So one more request for questions going out there for anyone. Any other comments? All right, so I want to thank you, and also remind you for quality professionals out there who maintain ASQ certifications and require periodic recertification. Please note that the participation in today's Performance Excellent Forum qualifies for ASQ recertification points. You can email me directly at eric.alden@xerox.com, and I will send you a certification. And I also, again, share with you the valuable resource that GRQC provides on our website. The resources page is your gateway to a number of valuable resources tools and templates contributed by GRQC members and friends, videos and presentation decks from past GRQ events, and links to external websites that offer excellent quality tools. So we invite you to use GRQC as part of your circle of trust as you pursue quality improvements and initiatives within your own organization. And the other advertising I have here is that we want to let you know of our upcoming Performance Excellence Awards. The applications for the 2024 Performance Excellence Awards are now open and due by May 31st, and links to the applications are on the grqc.org web page, and questions can be directed to awards@grqc.org. And if anyone is interested in being a reviewer for this year's award, please contact the same email to get a link for that format. And the Showcase Awards and presentation will be held in October. The exact date to be determined, but it will be in 2024. So we would appreciate you taking a few moments to complete a short 5-question survey on today's program. Your feedback helps us improve our programs and provides ideas for new programs. Please use the link that is posted in your chat window, and we will also email a link to all attendees in case you don't have time to evaluate it now. So we hope that you are leaving today with ideas and insights that you can use in your organization. We invite you to visit our website at www.grqc.org to learn more about your upcoming events in 2024. And if you'd like to suggest a topic or speaker, you can use the Contact Us form on the home page or respond to the question in the evaluation survey for additional topics. Once again, thank you, Franklin and Gorbel, for today's informative presentation, and we thank you for taking time out of your busy day to attend.
Thanks for having us.
All right.